Test. Okay, seems like everything's working. I added a... what was it? I added noise reduction, by the way, so hopefully the background, like, static is gone now, and hopefully it doesn't distort my voice noticeably. Let me just get the stream to ping the Discord. Okay. Oh, I can actually, like, listen to the stream for a second to see if there's any static. Discord. Okay, I don't think there's any static. And let me get chat open. Okay, I can see chat now. So, again, no one's here yet on the actual stream, but if you're watching the replay, you might be slightly confused why we are back to 1504. And this was not my first choice on what to do. Here's the logic. If you remember in the last stream, we had... let me actually start recording. So if you remember back to the last stream, we made 2 different saves to try and ensure, as insurance, if something went horribly wrong with the Mamluk situation. The second save is kind of useless, because in that timeline, the Mamluks are always going to declare on someone. Well, probably always going to declare on someone. We can't really stop that in any realistic way. And I don't want to just keep on trying over and over like the same stuff and hope that we get lucky with some event or something that cripples the AI. That's not how I like playing the game. But I do want to keep this on world conquest pace. And if we wait I think I checked, it would be like 8 to 10 years to try again with some Mamluks, then... that is going to mean the entire rest of the run is going to be 8 to 10 years behind, and I'd like to not have that happen. Again, we're trying to go for a realistic world conquest, and I would not say I'm the best EU4 player in the world at world conquests, given that I haven't actually done one before, so I'd like to at least get a decent start, but I also don't want to just assume we have perfect RNG or something. So I don't like saves coming for RNG. So whatever way we do this in has to be both realistic in terms of time frame to get a world conquest done, and reproducible, so not relying on hilariously rare RNG events. So what I came up with is a strat which is kind of cursed, but should allow us to integrate Cephalonia about a year or 2 quicker than would otherwise be possible. And that year or 2 gives us enough time that the Mamluks should still be crippled from our war and not be able to start a new war. And also, hopefully, this works consistently enough that I can go, like, describe how to do this so that other people... I'm not sure if anyone else wants to try out this run, but they could if they wanted to, and that's what is important in my opinion. So what the strat is we are going to stop Cephalonia from coring 3 of the 4 provinces that we are going to give them. If you see here, the real bottleneck in terms of how long it takes us to get the Mamluk missions done is the integration of Cephalonia. And integration cost is based on the amount of cores that a vassal has and the development of those core provinces. So if you see here, annexing Cephalonia right now would only cost 23 Diplo power, because they only have a core on their capital. So if we annex them, we would only get this core. That's why it only costs 23 Diplo. If we granted them, say, all of Egypt, but none of it was cored, then we could still integrate them for 23 Diplo. We just wouldn't get cores on Egypt, because they don't have cores on Egypt. So I think you can see where this is going. We are going to stop Cephalonia from coring the provinces they don't need to core, so that after the integration timer runs out, we'll be able to integrate them faster, and that means we can return the provinces to the Mamluks faster before they can start any stupid wars that makes the return province feature illegible, which then ends the run because we own provinces that we can't give away. Maybe not ends the run, but we'd have to give them to some other vassal, and then we'd have to integrate that vassal, and then the whole point of a world conquest pace is destroyed. So how do we do this? The main problem is that if we just prevent Epirus from coring these provinces somehow, we won't finish the buildings in Sharkia in time to integrate them, because it takes roughly 2.7 years to integrate Epirus after they core Sharkia, and we dev Sharkia. Each building, by default, if you look at the construction time for a building, it takes 12 months to build. There are a few modifiers for that, not very many. The main one you normally see is tax dev. So each tax development in a province will reduce the construction time by 1%. And this rounds to the nearest months, so you can never get a fraction of a month of building time from tax dev. So we can maximize the building speed by focusing tax dev when we dev Sharkia, before we start building any buildings. So we wait for Epirus to core Sharkia. That's the one province we need them to core. We can't get around that, because you need to core a province in order to develop it, and we need to develop it for the mission. So we dev tax as much as we can. That will give us around a 9 to 10% discount in terms of construction time, and that will get us down to 10 months per building. So that means we need to build 4 buildings. That is 40 months, a bit over 3 years of construction time. That's better than what we had originally, but there's still a chance that the Mamluks could start a stupid war, and we would now be trying to integrate Cephalonia, and we'd have to spend those 40 months risking that. There aren't any other permanent modifiers that we can give our vassal access to for construction time. So it would seem we would be stuck with 40 months, which is not great, but also not guaranteed. But there is one temporary modifier. If you look at the default mission tree that every vassal has, there's this mission high income, where it will give a minus 25% construction time discount. And that is exactly what we need here. We just need to get our vassal to click this mission, and then that changes the 10 months build time for all of the buildings in the mission to 7 months each. And that is way more manageable, because that means we only need to build 4 buildings times 7 months. That's only 28 months to build all the buildings in Sharkia. The other provinces will be done before then. And then we can return this province to the Mamluks as long as we have those buildings, which takes 28 months, and we have integrated Cephalonia, which will take about 2.7 years after this date. And coring Sharkia will take to about the same date, if not exactly, as we are able to start the annexation. So it's really the 28 months building time, starting at the exact same time as the integration time. So the integration time will be the limiting factor. It's about 2.7 years. I forget how many that is in months. It's like 24 plus 8, like 32 months. So it will take like a few more months to integrate them than it will be take to get all the buildings done. The only remaining question, well, two remaining questions, are A, how do we get Cephalonia to only core this one province to maximize integration speed, while not coring the other provinces? And B, how do we get Cephalonia to click this mission? My first thought with this is, okay, we can just subsidize Cephalonia, and that will fulfill the income requirement. Unfortunately, subsidies are excluded. I guess the devs, like, anticipated you might try and, like, get your vassal to get a higher income to artificially complete this mission, because it's just, you know, minus 10% construction costs and 25% construction time is just so OP. By the way, this construction cost modifier, I don't think this even applies to buildings you initiate. But we can increase the income of our vassal in other ways. We just can't do subsidies. So I thought of a few methods, but almost all of them have problems. The simplest method I thought was just to use Charquia, because, you know, it'll have a lot of tax dev and stuff, and then that should fulfill the mission requirements. But there's no guarantee that they actually get income from Charquia, because the AI loves to increase autonomy in provinces. And since we'll be artificially preventing the core of 3 of these provinces, the AI will see that it has high unrest, and will increase autonomy in Charquia, most likely. So, that leaves us with trying to increase their income in their capital, which we can't really do, realistically. If we had more time, we could build a manufacturer in their capital, and that would help their income some. And maybe we could also, like, dev their capital and then get another building. We could get, like, a workshop, and maybe we could get them above 1.5 income with production. We need to do this way faster than that, though. So there's one other method, which is the method I'm going to be using, which is income from occupied territories. If you see here, we are getting a very slight amount of tax income from the territories we occupy. It's not, like, significant, but if we give all of these territories, with their tiny incomes, most of them non-existent, but some of them existent, to our vassal to occupy for a month, that will temporarily meet the requirements for the high income mission. And that will solve problem 1 at least, which is the construction time. So we grant all of these to Cephalonia, and now we want to cripple the Mamluks as much as possible while not actually expending effort ourselves. So if we look at this, we can currently get the bare minimum war reps, and I guess we could get some money. We have this siege, which is going to possibly tick down soon, so we really want to make peace within the next, like, month or two before this siege has a chance of succeeding. So what we'll do is we'll occupy, like, 1 or 2 provinces, and we will also go stand on a fort so that the Mamluks think we're making progress. We don't need to actually win the siege for that to be effective. And we will try and get as much money out of the Mamluks to delay their ability to start another war. Now, in the meantime, I should also work on getting my diplomats to do some more useful stuff than what they're doing. One of my diplomats should be improving relations with Cephalonia so we can integrate them, and my other ones should probably be improving with my other vassals. And again, we'll probably end this war within the next month or so. Because I don't want to risk losing this siege. And again, just because we're reloading to, like, try the Mamluk War again and try out this new strat with the vassals does not mean we're going to suddenly start save scumming sieges. Like, that's not how I like playing the game. So we'll try and peace out before there's like any chance of that siege succeeding. Okay. So if we look at the missions for Cephalonia, it still has them as their low income. Uh-oh. Halab might actually give them some income. Yeah, here we go. So we want to wait for the months tick, and then they should take that mission after the months tick. And again, we're just trying to make it look to the Mamluks like we are making huge gains in the war, so that they are more willing to make peace. And I should also assign some of my other diplomats. Let's do Bulgaria. And Sirkizhan, probably. Again, we're going to peace out before that gets to the next tick, because they have a chance of winning that siege now. Okay, we should be able to occupy this province first. Okay. We probably won't be able to get any more war score. But we can get some gold before this peace out happens. And if we look at the mission, here you go. Cephalonia has 2 income from all of those occupied provinces, which is not a lot, but it is enough to meet those mission requirements. So now they will have, from the start, that minus 25% construction time, which is crucial here. Okay. So now we can make peace. And we will do, I believe, like a very similar peace deal to the first time. We take these 2 provinces to ourselves, and we give that to Cephalonia, and we just take as much money as we can. Which happens to be 100 ducats. Not amazing, but we'll live, probably. I don't think I'm messing anything up. And it's very important we don't unpause after the peace deal. Okay. Not just for the obvious reasons of if we unpause it would be breaking the rules, by the way. So first off, we're going to do the same thing as last time, where we give this province to Cephalonia, and we give Cairo to a new client state, Egyptus. Let's change their map color. Actually, I think, yeah, it's faster to go this way. Okay. So now, if you look at this land, the second problem I mentioned is we want Cephalonia to core only Sharqiya. We don't want them to core any of these provinces, because it would increase their integration cost, and more importantly, integration time. We need to do this quickly before the Mamluks decide, oh, I should go declare on someone else with my 19k troops, because they'll build up more troops, and they'll go declare on someone random. So how can we prevent only certain provinces from being cored? This is actually like the same idea in concept, and very similar in practice, to how we stopped our vassals from building ships early in the campaign, right before the Ottoman War, because, you know, we wanted to build ships in all of our vassals' provinces, and if they're building a ship, then we can't build a ship. So we used that same principle. to stop the cores. Now, there's a few things that share a timer in EU4 in provinces. So if you try and recruit a soldier, say a land unit, okay, we don't have enough manpower, but we could do a mercenary. Let's say I'm trying to recruit the Knights of Rhodes in Constantinople. I cannot also build a galley at the same time. I can only do one of those things at a time. The galley will be queued afterwards. Same thing vice versa. The same thing applies to coring provinces and sending missionaries. If you've ever tried to do both at the same time, you'll realize you can't. Unfortunately, we only have one missionary. But there is a third... Oh, by the way, we should use that missionary. Yep, this province is being cored, so we can't send a missionary, but we can send a missionary to one that isn't being cored. But there is a third, type of thing that also shares a timer with missionaries and coring, and that is buildings. So we can build, say, manufactories in 3 of the 4 provinces. It doesn't matter what, because we're just going to cancel this after. This is a slight waste of ducats, but we're going to get a ton of money anyway from this, so it doesn't really matter. And we'll get 50% of this back. So it's like 750 ducats to save a couple hundred dip power. It's a perfectly fine trade. And we don't build anything in Sharqiya. And what this does is, since vassals obviously can't start coring while the game is paused, we take advantage of that to get, like, first pick on what the province does. So these 3 provinces will be building a completely useless estate that will never be finished, while Sharqiya gets cored. And all we need to do is remember to cancel these buildings and start building marketplaces when Sharqiya has maybe 2 buildings left. And that will ensure these 3 provinces will still meet the requirements to have marketplaces, but Cephalonia won't have time to core them before the annexation finishes. And Sharqiya will be cored, and will have the maximum, basically, construction time savings. Okay, I think I described everything. Actually, one thing we could do, I'm trying to figure out... No, that wouldn't work. I was trying to think if we could not core Sharqiya, but then I forgot, I already mentioned exactly why we can't do that. We need to dev the province. Okay. And since we need to core Sharqiya at some point, we may as well do that first, so that we can dev tax and get another 2 months discount on building. Okay. I think I explained everything in this strat. This should be much more reliable than anything else, because it basically just speedruns getting the requirements done for the mission tree. So this should minimize the time the Mamluks have to possibly declare war on anyone else and prevent this from working. Okay. Now we will basically do the same stuff we did last time, but over again, and dealing with these buildings. So we can keep track of when the core finishes, but I believe it should finish at the same time or so that integration is possible, because it's about 3 years. It is 3 years base cost, but vassals also, client states have minus 10% core creation cost, which is also minus 10% core creation time. So that's how it should line out. Okay. And then hopefully colonialism and everything still spawns. I think the first half hour of this will probably be very similar to the last stream, but we will be managing this vassal. And I think we can unpause now. Hopefully I explained all of the parts of this strategy fairly well. And we can also stop paying for our navy, because we're not going to be fighting any naval wars for a while. Although we will need transports to go save these units, so let's move our transports down to Alexandria. And we will do our next war with Eretna. Same as last time, and we're not going to kill Trebizond, same as last time. We'll take a bit of unnecessary attrition here. I'm sure same as last time. I've never been amazing at managing attrition. And we will go improve relations with Maria. We should keep our vassals loyal if possible. Oh, and I forgot to add the background music. I got so distracted with the explanation. 1 second. Okay, is this a bit loud? Okay, someone can, like, yell if the background music is too loud. But hopefully everything works properly. And our advisor died. Lovely. Okay, let's get a missionary strength guy. And let's promote him? Yeah, we can promote this guy. Actually, I should not be converting this province. I want to convert Quahira. And again, we'll just be declaring on Aretna as soon as we get our troops up here. We want to make this a quick and painless war. For us. Probably won't be very painless for them. And I could also manage estates. I don't see anything we can do, though, here. That would be very useful. We can go help with these rebels first. Is this gonna arrive? There we go. So if we look at the core time now, this will be done on June 1507. I believe we can start annexing this, what, May? Yeah. So 1 month's difference. Which should be fine, because the buildings are faster to build here anyway. By a few months. Okay. We won that battle. We'll do a very quick war. It is important that we are not at war when that time starts, because, again, everything is limited by this timer. This May 1507 timer. So we need to delay our war with the Ottomans a few months, because our truce runs out by March, but we also don't want Serbia to declare on the Ottomans and take territory. So we can use... Again, it's fine to declare as long as we end the war before that 1507 point. And we can take... It doesn't matter what we set the war goal to. But we should probably have a diplomat available. Okay. And let's, like, organize these armies, because this is a total mess. Yeah, we can probably just have everything in one stack for now. I don't see a huge reason not to. I guess we can separate our manpower troops. We don't want to waste them unnecessarily. And we can have our mercenaries do the fighting. Okay. And let's consolidate mercenary regiments. Oh, I also forgot to hire Morlocks. I believe they have a siege hip. Okay, they do. That can help speed some of this up, which again, we want to speed all of this up if possible. That is the name of the game here. Okay, Retina can't escape this. We should easily stack wipe. Okay, now we'll go to AQ. We need military access, though. Which we should get. Yeah. And and we'll just have all of these guys carpet sieging, and we'll leave some cannons here, along with some Warlock stock, which we are currently hiring to siege the capital. Actually, I think we can just leave cannons, and we can just move some random stack with a general on it. Yeah, with a single siege pip, because... Oh yeah, we don't need to siege AQ's capital, so yeah, we can have the Warlock stock on this capital instead. They have the higher siege. Okay. Okay, so one thing, by the way, you could do if you really wanted to min-max all of this is you could continuously cancel and recreate the manufactories to get all of your investment back. That's what we did at the game start with the galleys, to avoid wasting any money, but I don't think we really need the 750 ducats, and that would be a lot of my crew right now. It's not like game start where we absolutely need every ducat we can get to survive against the Ottomans. We can get this 1k stack to just keep the capital occupied. And we can go here to siege AQ. Oh, and we can, like, send some troops over to siege the other provinces. But they have mill access through the Mamluks, just might be more annoying than last time. And I also forgot to leave cannons. Let's go leave some cannons for the first capital. But, I mean, even if it's not quite as easy as last time, it should still be fairly easy. Okay, colonialism spawned. Good. It would be very annoying if it didn't spawn this time around. So we can dev Constantinople. We should still have plenty of leftover points to dev the new province. But we just can't dev it quite as much as we might want. Yeah. So we need 4 more goes around. Actually, we can dev tax once probably. Yeah. Yeah, so AQ is going to kill some of our vassal troops, which kind of sucks, but we'll live. And again, it is important that we keep track of this timer so that we can start the buildings as soon as possible. We're not actually going to siege the capital. I think we can get away with just sieging the 2 other provinces for AQ. Yeah. Really, these guys don't want to make peace. Okay, we'll stand on their capital for months to get war reps and some prestige. The prestige is more important. Still won't accept. Okay, whatever. I don't care enough. And let's go try and cancel mill access with these guys a bit earlier. There we go. Should no longer be losing Diplo. And again, we just need to remember June 1507. Actually, we need to remember the first date. Yeah. May 1507. How's our missionary doing? Fine. Okay, we have, like, max cannon and siege for this. We should hopefully win this fast. We can also, like, stop paying for our army. There's no enemy forces that can do anything. Again, we're not going to take techs. They're still more expensive than normal because of colonialism. And we need to save our points for this. I should also switch icons. We're getting really unlucky with the siege. Kinda quiet for 6 viewers unless the previous messages aren't supposed to show up for me and I'm being silly. Nope. I think you're just the first one to talk. Oh my god, I'm taking so much extra attrition here. Let's go to the capital. And let's see if we can curry favors with Maria, because they've been having some Liberty Desire problems, perhaps. I suppose, like, before a conversation starts, there isn't, like, that many topics to discuss in the chat? I don't know. Okay. We will give all of this to Anatolikon. And yeah, that should work. Cephalonia, we still need to improve a bit. Their relations are inflated because they're at war. So we can get rid of... yeah, Circassian's been pretty loyal. We don't need to improve relations with them. And Anatolikon can take all of this, yeah. And none of these countries, I think, are a problem coalition-wise. Okay. Now the only real war we should be having to do before we get this building micro done is the Ottoman War. You like infrastructure idea group? That's one way of starting conversation. I like infrastructure when I have more than one province to develop. Infrastructure I don't think would be very good on one province. Because of it being, you know, additive discount and the base cost for deving being so high, of course. The biggest part of infrastructure for me is the dev cost. But it's also good for the gov capacity if you're playing wide. Okay, 1507. But yeah. Hopefully, like, everyone, like, understands why we are back in 1505. I did explain it at the start of the stream. But basically, this is, to ensure that our vassal will have enough time to... well, we can integrate our vassal quickly enough that the Mamluks won't have time to declare another war. And then I explained the strat we're using, and why we are building manufactories here at the beginning. So you can check back after if you are a bit confused. Sure, we can get some free prestige for sharing maps. Discounts to buildings and centers of trade. Oh yeah, that as well. I don't find those quite as impactful as dev cost because usually monarch points are more of a bottleneck for me than money, but they're very handy. They, like, make the return on investment on those buildings just so much better sometimes. Especially if you can combine other discounts. Okay, we got Quahira converted. And we could curry favors, but we should naturally get favors with Bulgaria when we return land. Let's do with Maria. We're already doing that. Anatolikon maybe. we already have enough favors. Let's go trade those in. Okay, we now have max trust. And Sarkisian, we can also trade in favors. Oh, and we should be diverting trade from Cephalonia. Probably? Yeah, they're not making any money from the trade, they're not using it. And we can, like, go give them some subsidies just to make sure they don't go bankrupt before we annex them. I don't think it'll be an issue. Alright, we can do more of the missions. I don't think we want to click any of these. Yeah, we don't. Again, economic independence will save until we have much more trade efficiency. Shortly after we get the 50,000 ducats, we should be able to build manufactories in, like, most of these provinces, and that will greatly increase our trade income. So trade efficiency at that point will be much more valuable than it is now. I don't know why everyone always clicks every mission as soon as they're available. It's a bit weird. Or at least, like, basically all of the YouTube content I see is just people clicking every mission as soon as they complete them, which sometimes makes sense, but sometimes doesn't. What mods do I use? It's just one, graphical map improvements, I believe. If you remind me again at the end, then I can double check, but I believe that's the mod name. It's just a map mod, which I like. This is Iron Man, of course, so I can't have mods that change the gameplay at all. Okay, we got some rebels on roads. We have mercenaries that we can use. Okay, let's get our ships to deal with that. I probably should have anticipated this. Not a big deal, but it is going to be annoying. Let's attach these all to the free company. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Oh, one of these is a 5-stack. Do we have a smaller mercenary regiment? Yeah, we do. We can go retake roads. Did the soundtrack change? Not in the middle of the stream. I started the soundtrack in the middle of the stream, but this is the Civ 5 OST. So we went from Civ to Solaris back to Civ 5 because we didn't actually complete the Civ 5 OST. Do you prefer the Civ or Stellaris? We can do Stellaris if people prefer it. I think we got most of the good Civ 5 soundtrack in, like, the first stream. This is, like, the leftover Civ 5 soundtrack, which is still okay, but I think I might actually prefer the Stellaris music. Okay, we're getting close to that important 1507 date. Okay, because we killed Maria's rebels, Maria is now disloyal. I love this game so much. We can go, like, dev tax once. We should also hire some mercenaries to increase our relative power. That'll be relatively cheaper than just continuing to spend mana. Because ducats are cheaper than mana. EU4's OST is fairly well made, to be fair. It's very well made. Like, I think there were, like, orchestras for some of them. I just feel like it gets old faster than some of the other OST. I've listened to a lot of the EU4 OST, and maybe it's because, like, there just isn't as much music variety for each region. That might be it. But I don't really feel like I get tired of listening to the Civ OST or Stellaris OST. Stellaris, I guess I kind of do, but not as quickly as EU4. Okay, let's get some... Actually, we don't need to send anyone down to Egypt yet. There's no rebellion for a while. So we can actually turn down maintenance. Okay. How close are these to being done? Actually, fairly close. They're being built, like, fast because of the minus 32% construction time modifier. I'm actually going to take the prestige this time. Yeah. Because we can get, like, almost all of that prestige. I think we had higher prestige the first time around, so it would only be, like, 15. But this should help with the loyalty equilibrium of estates, which may be relevant. Again, I want to get as close to 10% crown land as possible for this. And we need, like, 3 more dev clicks. Lost to Admiral, that's fine. We're not fighting any naval wars for a while. Sarkeesian gains Liberty Desire. Does that matter? 15%? Not really. Let's get the manpower. That will reduce the Liberty Desire of other subjects. Okay, Bulgaria's loyal. Maria's loyal. We can improve that. And probably Wallachia. Ooh! This is a fun event. You get 10% extra defensiveness in Constantinople. For 50 ducats. The Theodosian walls cost way more than that. We can also start upgrading the Theodosian walls soon, by the way. Oh, I forgot, we need to start a manufacturer in Constantinople. Yeah, I'd say Constantinople is a strategically important province to improve the defensiveness on. And let's get shipbuilding time. Maybe we save the manufactories. But no, I think there's a limit to the number of buildings, right? Yeah. So we already have this building, this building, this building, this building, this building. This building doesn't matter. This building we have. This building doesn't matter. We already have that building. So we want all the manufactories as our last 3 buildings. Okay. And we may as well start with the impressment office then. For more Diplodev. Actually, no, we should save Diplodev for last. Oh, this is manpower? Okay, yeah. We can... Yeah, we can add manpower. You can disable context in music menus so you could listen to ports of China while playing outside Asia? We could. I think after we... Let me go to the... here. Yeah, after we end the Civ 5 OST, if we do... Actually, no, we won't get to the end of the OST before the end of the stream. But next stream we could do EU4 out of context, or maybe like Stellaris again. I like Stellaris music. We can probably stop with Cephalonia. I'll wait like 1 more month. Again, we have like 8 months until we need to be starting to integrate Cephalonia ASAP. And then right after that point, we're going to be declaring against the Ottomans, so we should raise our maintenance. Oh, is one of our vassals converting provinces? Konya and Rhodes. Ooh, they are. How effectively are they? Is it not possible to see? Oh, here it is. Huh, they're actually doing it fairly well. Okay, I'll stop with Cephalonia next month. And we should find a new use for that diplomat. Again, a few months before that, we can do support air in Poland. I mean, it hasn't been doing anything so far. I doubt it will do anything. But hey, there's always a chance. Let's lose one stab. I don't want to lose government reform progress. We already wasted a bit of it. And let's trade and curry favors. And our truce with Ottomans expires March, so we'll, in January, ask Serbia to prepare for war. And that should do it. Also earning a decent trade income now. We should also move some troops to be able to instantly occupy these provinces. Let's go here. Yeah, that should be enough for the Balkans, and then we can move these mercenary regiments out of the Balkans. Just continuing to convert. Okay, now we should probably have our guy stop supporting air and ask Serbia to prepare for war. Okay, that should stop them from declaring on the Ottomans. And we don't actually want to move troops all the way in yet. It'll be a few months. But when can we integrate them? March or May? May. And we can get another diplomat available. Okay, April. The Ottomans are running. Makes sense. I would be running. Okay, I'm gonna go AFK for a minute or two. Well, probably like 2 or 3 minutes. BRB. Okay, I'm back. Lava Gamer, I am planning another war, basically right after the truce with the Ottomans, yes. Okay. Actually, I should check. Yeah, my mic is working, cool. And I should also be keeping an eye on the core progress, so we need to start building 18th of June, basically immediately. Okay. And also need to keep an eye on these buildings. They're going to be finishing soon, unless we cancel them, so we need to remember to cancel these buildings. I wish you could change the order of these options. I feel like the buildings are sometimes on top, but I don't know what determines that, and I want the buildings to be on top to most readily notice them. Yeah, these buildings all finish in a, like, bit under a year, so we'll probably need to cancel them again. Okay, yeah, the Ottomans should be screwed, no matter where they move their forces to. Okay, we should be able to annex vassal. On the force. It says it's not possible to offer this before the 4th of May. It is the 4th of May. They need to change the wording on that. It's a total scam. I assume it has to be, like, after by one day. Okay. Awful tooltip. Completely unplayable game. So yeah, it says that it's going to be complete in 2 years. It's actually going to be longer than that, because we are going to be deving up Sharqiyya. And they don't have a core here yet. Although I think it was taking that into account. That's why it had, like, a higher estimate than just the 20 or whatever that it would take earlier. And now that we are annexing our vassal on, like, the same months, basically, we can declare on the Ottomans. I don't think it matters what we set the war goal as. We can give Maria our core on Aderne, though. There is some background noise going on outside. Hopefully you guys don't hear that. Okay. Can we not set that as a war goal? There we go. And we can set a war goal of Aderne. That probably checks out. Yeah. And we can call in Serbia just to make sure they don't start their own war. They won't take any land. We have annexation started already, yeah. We just need to remember to get these buildings done optimally, so we need to pause again on the 18th. We are taking way too much attrition here. Like, this war does not merit this many troops taking attrition. Let's send these guys back to Constantinople. And we can disable maintenance, like, in a month or two. We can also move basically all these guys off the siege. And we want the Morlachs on the siege. And we can turn off army maintenance now. That was a very quick war. Here we go. And let's send a guy here to make sure we can continue sieging. And 2 guys here. Also a guy here. Okay, so 18th of June. Okay, 19th apparently. So now, this is Cord. I'm just gonna cancel this. We'll probably need to do 1 more round of estates. Actually, we can do the maths on whether this core will finish in time. So we need to do 4 buildings, which is 28 months, versus a core takes 36 months space, but it is, what is it, reduced by 10% for client states, so that's minus 3.6, let's round up to 4, so that's 32 months. So we have 4 months to spare. The question is the vassalization. Does the vassalization finish? I think we'll start another manufactory, and then cancel in... Let's do every 3 months. Until we're sure that they won't finish. Okay, and... oh, we want a dev tax first, so I think we have all the modifiers we can get. Yeah, we have development cost. Okay. So we're focusing admin mana here. So that devs 10 times. And now, when we build the first building, let's say marketplace, it's 10 months instead of 12, but this will actually be 7. Yeah, 7 months because of the construction time growing economy discount. Okay. So we have, yeah, we can cancel these in 3 months, so July, August, 19th of September, and then we can probably just start marketplaces. And then that should be fine. We should check when these guys get integrated. March 1510. So under 3 years, barely. Yeah, we should be able to do marketplaces and then just let the coring start because it won't finish in time. So, September 19th is the first date we need to remember, and 19th of January is the second one. Okay, that was a very quick siege, 1 month. It's like they didn't even have fort maintenance, but it was a capital fort. And we can rearrange the state privileges soon. We can also curry favors, maybe with someone. Yeah, maybe Wallachia, that would be the most in need. So, after Edirne's siege, the war is over. Very short war. And we will just give this to our vassals. Obviously. And basically all of them get something out of it. Very even split. And we can even take max money. Perfect war. Just double checking we have the right vassals. Yep. We should also be able to do colonialism soon. '19th of September, so like in 1 month we need to cancel those manufactories. Let's get diplomatic power. And we got colonialism. We can also expand infrastructure and embrace it. And we can even knowledge share. To only our vassals, of course. Oh, our consort died. Cool. I mean, it doesn't matter now, but he was useless, so it makes me feel better. And we eclipsed Genoa. Okay. So now we need to cancel these. Yeah, there's just a lawnmower outside. Apologies for the background noise. And let's do one more round of manufactories. This lawnmower is just intent on ruining the stream. Okay, costly trade embargoes. Let's go cancel Genoa. So December 19th, basically Christmas time, we need to also cancel manufactories. But again, once this annexation finishes, we should be golden. Alright, we should be able to cancel modifiers now. Let's cancel Forced Draft. And let's cancel Expand Fortifications. And I want to give out instead land rights. Yeah, I mean, actually, alternatively, we could give a burger privilege out. Global trade power. I wonder if this affects trade power you get from vassals. If so, it could be useful. Global trade power, 20% prestige, stability. Okay, so it looks like, if I'm interpreting this correctly, that we do not get our vassals' trade power modified by our global trade power. Because we have, yeah, 44 times 1.41, and then we add all the other stuff up. So we can actually, like, check this pretty simply by just adding up all the numbers. Transfers from traders downstream. Yeah, that won't be that relevant. Bulgaria is 7, 17 is, what, 23? 24? Oh, no, it's like 18 plus 7, that's 25, plus 6, 31, plus 4, 34, plus, 45 times 1.42. I can't do that in my head, 1 second. 45 times 1.42. Okay, that's 64 plus, what was it? I think it was 34. Yeah, I think it was 34. I'm adding into the parentheses. Okay, 98 trade power, if I understand how this works properly, but it says 87. Oh, because of the absent merchant. So absent merchant gets tagged onto the end. Okay, so how this works is global trade power does not apply to subjects, but it does apply to transfer from trader downstream. So the only thing global trade power would be helping us with is effectively our trade power in Constantinople, because we won't ever have trade power anywhere else, because we won't be building light ships and we're just going to be using vassals. So this privilege would be kind of useless. I guess trade range may be situationally helpful, but not really. So I think instead we should go for the land rights and the nobility, and that will later be needed anyway to give us 10% extra force limit. And then here, we can take... There was an admiral one. Naval school rights. This ambience really puts you into that Constantinople dwelling world conqueror mindset. It does. Yeah, I think we can do the Grand Admiralship one. I guess there's not a huge reason to do it right now. May as well, though. Yeah, 60 naval tradition admirals would be nice. We just have really terrible admirals right now. It does mean that, like, it would lose burgher loyalty, but we're not regularly, like, claiming land or anything. And I don't think we'll be developing land for a while, so we could actually, like, just get an admiral right now. But we don't need one, so... I guess we may as well get one, so we can get another one soon. This admiral's... Oh wait, no, he doesn't suck. He has 3 maneuver. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, these two stats look bad, but maneuver is the most important pip on an admiral, so this means he can get 30% more ships into every engagement. Maneuver is such an overpowered stat. It's actually more than 30%, because we're in an inland sea in the Mediterranean, so it's something like, I don't know, plus 35%, like 1/3 extra ships. It's an insanely powerful modifier. And 1/3 extra ships isn't just, say, 33% more firepower, it's also like... Wait, no, it is just 33% more firepower. I was gonna say 33% more house. But it kind of is 33% more house, because naval shots are distributed randomly, so it's usually going to take 33% longer for one of your ships to go and die for no reason. So yeah, maneuver is just a blatantly overpowered skill for an admiral to have. The Earth's capital, yep. It has 75 development. This music is just way too good. I forget where it's from, but I think it's like a menu theme or like the opening theme for Civ 5 or something. It's amazing. Have basically everything ready, we just need the Mamluks to not declare war quite yet, and I don't think they should. We need 2.5 more years. And it's Christmas, so we cancel these estates. And make new estates. Not estates, manufactories. I know I said I, like, didn't want to do this micro, and now I'm doing the micro. Okay. We got the marketplace built. We can just build some other random building, it doesn't matter. Oh, we do need to keep an eye out on these Mamluk separatists. That would be the one thing we don't want to delay anything. Because it could, like, stall our vassal integration or the buildings if they occupy the province. I forget if, like, them standing on it would stop it. I think they need to occupy it for it to cause an issue. Okay, conversion successful. I'm trying to remember if you have a coring time discount for it being in an already existing state. I don't think you do. I think we can just start the marketplaces now. Plus, this is only, what, 14, 21 months? At 14 months, yeah, we'll keep on doing the estate cancellation until it has 2 buildings left, just in case. So March, April, May. May 25th we cancel them. I can aid England against Scotland, Poland, France, Lithuania, and Man? What is this war? Okay, I'm not getting involved in that. And let's start raising our maintenance in case we need to deal with separatists. And we can start moving some armies as well so that they'll be available. Let's move the Palace Guard out. I think we have a better mercenary, yeah. We have 12k. We'll just send these guys down. I think we want 2 stacks to be safe. Again, cancel it. And 5, and we can get, what, 7 here? Sure, we can do some cannons. I don't want to waste Diplo power on this. Why is this music so dramatic? I don't mind it. Henry VIII's doing something goofy? Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I guess he's just going after Scotland, and these guys can't do much because they can only occupy England stuff on the mainland, so it's not that bad for them, I suppose. But yeah, these guys should quash the rebels very quickly. Yeah, I wish buildings had, like, a progress bar. Where did my buildings go? Missionaries, buildings. Yeah, not a progress bar, but like a percent indicator. Okay. August, September, October. This will be August. I really do not want this to go wrong. Okay, did that delay it at all? Yeah, it delayed it slightly. Aww, Theodora died. Not sure why that makes them disloyal. Oh, the royal marriage expired. Let's send our guys up here. And these guys over here. Emporia want even more base production in Constantinople. Let's go. We need 37 base production. The 35 we have already isn't enough. Let's crush these rebels. We can also trade in favors for trust. Oh, Sarkeesian doesn't like us. Okay, we can trade in some favors and improve relations. And again, it doesn't matter what building we build. But yeah, this is 14 months, so that would be 28 months. So yeah, even if there is a 50% time discount, we should be able to start marketplaces now. There we go. Last building started. When are you being integrated? March 1510. And when does this finish? April 1509. We will just barely have this done in time. It's good that there's, like, some extra time after finishing the buildings, because the rebels did delay the buildings a month. And we did dev this enough. Okay. We just need to check back on April the 3rd. The 4th, technically, because it'll still be building on the 3rd. The tooltip is a lie. And then we can turn down maintenance after this. Oh, did we finish? No, we didn't finish the building. We can also hire some more mercs. I don't think we need to right now. Actually, we do. We want trade income from Sarkeesian. Nah, Sarkeesian doesn't own any centers of trade. It should be fine. Yeah, once we curry these favors with Maria, I'm gonna switch to Sarkeesian, maybe. Actually, no, Wallachia. I can switch right now. Who cares about Wallachia? And trade favors for trust. Still not quite there. I guess we can curry favors. And we can also, yeah, we have army mutants down. We can also trade in favors with Maria. Now they're at 85. Okay. April. We get, like, Aragon as a rival? I don't really see the need to select a rival. We're at 100 power projection for presumably a while. 61 power projection from conquering stuff from the Ottomans. And that didn't even count the last war. We are never getting Lesbo and Skio. For a second, I was worried our subject, like, deleted the building for a second. Okay. I don't know. Dock. Okay, and that should be the last building, as long as this completes in time. Yeah, 4th of November. Integration finishes in March 1510. So that gives us... yeah, a bit over 4 years of extra time. So even if the Mamluks do declare a war, somehow, because they have recovered their army a bit, we should still be able to maybe do this with a delayed integration, because they'll likely finish the war within 4 years. Because I don't really have any, like, good targets that would take more than 4 years to kill. I'm going to make one more save here, just in case. I don't think we can mess anything up. But, you know, we somehow found a new way that this can fail last time. So just in case. Okay. But I think this should work. We have, like, basically everything we need. Even if, unfortunately, our amazing ruler died. Earlier than last time. Such is the cost. %. We just need to remember to gift Mamluks some money to overcome their inflation, which shouldn't be that bad. How many loans do they have? 5 loans, so they might declare war at some point soon, but hopefully not until we've annexed. I just clicked the exact same thing. Okay, no inflation, basically. Okay, we can get some extra production efficiency. I'm just so nervous right now. We spent way too long in this building micro, but hopefully it pays off. We've done everything possible to minimize the amount of time that the Mamluks can declare a war in. It has only been, what, 4 years? (1504). It's been 5 years. We can't get everything done for the mission much faster than that, I don't think. So we've really done the min-maxing. Ooh, and we can do our trade again. Lovely. Ooh, annexation finishes March 1510. I feel like that's sped up. Maybe not. Okay. Have all the buildings? We have all the buildings. They are starting the cores, but they will not finish in time. It would take until May 1511. We have an extra year. At least for that aspect of it. Mercantilism is going to be useless eventually, so I'm going to take the mill power. Okay, I believe it finishes next month. Hopefully, nothing else can go wrong. Okay. All we need to do is return these provinces and gift the Mamluks money on the 18th. 200 ducats should be sufficient because they have under 1% inflation. We can double check that. Yeah, they have basically no inflation, so we shouldn't need to give them anything, but just in case, we'll gift them 200. Okay. And we return the provinces now. Okay. And we shouldn't need to, do anything else until the 18th. That Diplograph, might make some of our other subjects unhappy for a bit. Okay, Maria's dealt with. Circusion, we can disable divert trade. Wallachia, we can improve relations. And maybe we can pay for our army to get some reinforcements? Not really. I guess we can dev Wallachia once. Yeah, why not? We just need to pause on the 18th. And, if everything goes well, on the 19th, we will see the construction in Sharqiyya. So, everything did not go well. What went wrong this time? Okay, it did go well. It didn't show up the first time. Okay, I was wondering what we could have possibly messed up. It just took a bit to show. We got the Suez Canal started. The rest of the run can continue. Okay, it only took 1.5 hours of gameplay, but we got it. I was expecting this to, like, be faster than the first time around, but we had to micro so much more this time that it wasn't. But it's complete. Well, it will be complete in, like, 10 to 12 years. I think it normally takes them, like, 12 years to finish the Suez Canal. We can, like, do another war against them in the meantime. We just need to not take the province. We can even occupy the province. That will just halt the progress. And we probably want to micro our subjects to not occupy that province, because we don't want to halt the progress. But that is such a relief. Okay. And next month, yeah, we still have war reps with the Mamluks for another 4 years. So we possibly over-microed slightly, but hey, we needed to get rid of all the risk. And we will soon see 2,000 ducats in war reparations enter our economy tab a month before it enters our actual income. And then when it enters our income, we can sell titles to get an absurd amount of money. We can actually... You know what, I'm gonna cancel land rights and remake them, because we have enough crown land that we can do this. I'll wait until next month, though, so you guys can see the difference it'll make in the final ducat estimation. Probably doesn't matter that much, because we'll have near infinite money anyway. I guess not infinite, it will run out. But we'll be able to hire better advisors and stuff. We can even start promoting our advisors now. Let's promote... I guess we can promote admin once, but not yet. That's like 600 ducats. We should start work on stuff in Constantinople instead. Actually, we can, like, save this. And do 2 faster constructing buildings to get the mission faster. So let's see our economy tab. Let's go! We have 2,000 ducats coming in soon from the Suez Canal. We can improve relations here. And we'll see the sell title ducat money next month. Also, economic hegemon next month, when we actually get the money. Because this month is when the Mamluks got the money, so we'll get it next month. That's how war reps work. It's the total income from the previous months. There you go! We could get 52,000 ducats if we sold crown land. And we also got 2,000 ducats, as you can see, in our income immediately. And we could claim economic hegemon. So that would give us development cost modifier, minus 5%. Monthly war exhaustion, minus 0.1, and 100% mercenary manpower. We would basically never get the other benefits. But before we do that, let's maximize the amount of money we can get by revoking land rights. I don't think this fixes our crown land. Yeah, it doesn't. Good. And granting it again. Now we have just barely above 10, and we can get an additional 3,000 ducats. Probably wasn't worth it, but hey. This whole, like, campaign has been unnecessary min-maxing of estates, so this just fits with the overall theme. And then after this, we can also grant estate statutory rights again. It should be very quick, because we'll be at under 1% crown land. And all of our subjects will probably be disloyal soon, because of our low crown land, but not for long. Okay, now we have over 50,000 ducats, and we can become economic hegemon. The question is, do we? Because it's not an automatic yes. Yes, these benefits are nice, but we will get minus 50 opinion with everyone. And that could be really bad for coalitions. On the other hand, economic hegemon in 1510 is really cool. So again, I'll make a save here, just in case we want to come back to it, and play a run without economic hegemon, but I think we want to do economic hegemon. I think it'd be the most interesting way to play this. Okay, I made the save. Let's claim economic hegemon. Hegemony proclaimed in 1510 as an OPM with 81 development. We will surpass Alexander and Genghis Khan. Yes, we will, if we do manage to conquer the world. Okay, we have some slight loyalty issues in our vassals. Let me check the meantime to happen for the estate statutory rights event, because that's what we need to fix our loyalty issue. We do have some temporary problems that we'll need to solve here. I think I looked at this before, but I forgot the exact modifiers for the meantime to happen. Okay, so it has a base mean time to happen of 10 years. A bit over 10 years. And it can only happen if you're below 11% crown land, which we are. But then for every bit below, so at 6%, 4%, 2%, and 1%, less than each of those modifiers for crown land, the mean time to happen halves. So it would be 5 years for 6, 2.5 for 4, 1.5, 1.25 for 2, and a bit over half a year for 1%. So, since we have, like, 0% crown land, this should happen in half a year before our vassals can get independence. But let's check who would, like, accept independence from our vassals. The Mamluks shouldn't be able to, because they have a truce. So it would be any of our other rivals, which would be Venice, basically. Venice is hostile, hostile, neutral, hostile. So Anatolikon might get support from Venice. I think that's it. Oh, Egyptus. That probably won't get support from Venice. Okay, Anatolikon is the main one we have to worry about, because they have 55 opinion with Venice. So we can disable divert trade from them. That unfortunately will reduce our trade power. Oh, also Bulgaria. Yeah, we don't need to worry about Bulgaria's loyalty. And we just have to hope we get estate statutory rights in a reasonable amount of time. Oh, they could ally each other still, though. Yeah, so we probably want to solve this. Yeah, if we have one disloyal vassal, we can deal with it, but if we have multiple, then they'd ally each other, and that would just be annoying. So let's spend some mana to fix that. Prevent that. Wallachia. I guess we can do tax. No one likes tax. And Egyptus. Ooh, that's gonna be annoying to dev. What if we spent prestige on that instead? Yeah, let's do that. Maria's the tough one. But I don't think anyone can actually support Maria's independence. Oh, they improved relation with France. So we probably want to deal with this. As annoying as it would be. Ooh, devastation. Okay. We can get rid of devastation and, do something useful with our Diplo points at the same time. We can... I don't want to waste Diplo points on that, though. Okay, we can waste mill points. We don't need mill dev, and that will also increase their manpower. So we want to do this on, like, a grain province. Yeah. Okay, we dealt with all of our vassals. We can re-enable divert trade once we get estate statutory rights. Which should be soon. And for the meantime, we can start some building projects. Oh, and we can also do Reconquer Bulgaria. Or we could wait. Yeah, let's wait on this. It could be a good general. But we should ask for contribution. Yeah. That will reduce our construction cost, and then we can just spam manufactories. Yeah, construction cost. Oh, I guess the Emperor asked for contribution only applies to your own provinces, not your vassals. That's kind of sad. But we can just start spamming manufactories on all Christian provinces in the Constantinople node to start. Why did Maria gain more liberty desire? I guess they got jealous of other subjects getting manufactories. But we do want to declare on QQ soon. So we will do that. And we'll wait to seize land until after we get the state statutory rights event, but before we click it. What a humble city-state, Riga of the Mediterranean, yeah. We just have some slight crown land issues, nothing much to worry about. Let's get free trade power. I don't see why not. And we can just declare on QQ, like, as soon as our troops get there, I think. Yeah, there's nothing much to worry about. And... oh, Armenia we could declare on as well. We could declare on that first. We have the claims, right? We don't have the claims in this timeline. Well, I guess it's good that we didn't seize land, because Anatolikon would be super angry at us right now. We'll do that later. Can we even declare on QQ? We still have claims. Okay, our subject has been very helpful in making claims on everything nearby. So we don't even need the claims right now. And we may as well promote advisors, I suppose. This is a really expensive advisor, though. I don't think it makes sense yet. we do need to decide on our next idea group, by the way, because that would mean... that would decide, like, where we want our points. I'm thinking we could either do quantity for more relative strengths, or we could do plutocratic for more relative strengths, and liberty desire from our vassals. I'm not sure which makes more sense. Plutocratic also has morale, so that would be kind of a quality idea as well, whereas quantity is really just a pure, you know, quantity idea. It would give more manpower, it would give an equal amount of force limit, and it would give extra paranoias and land maintenance. So I guess we probably want plutocratic. We will get extra manpower. I'd rather have, like, a slight quality boost as well, because plutocratic, the policy gives 10% liberty desire reduction in vassals. Whatever, I guess we can decide in a bit. But we probably shouldn't just keep on delaying not promoting our mill advisors because of that event that can theoretically happen. We should get more mill points. These guys are Tech 7, we're Tech 9. This should be fairly quick. 225. Not great. I don't want this heir, but I also don't want to get rid of him right now because that would put us at negative prestige. So maybe we shouldn't have used that prestige on Egyptus. Yeah, I'll wait a bit. I think what I'll do is I'll move our army here. Actually, let's just declare on Armenia first. They're a much easier target. And then that will allow us to attack 2 forts at once with QQ. Just checking we don't need to be at peace for any reason. And then we can add, like, 4 cannons to this. Wait, no, this is already an excessive amount of cannons. It's a level 1 fort. So we can get our siege guy to help out. And this should be a very quick war, like a month or 2, maybe 5 if we get unlucky. And we want to remothball our fleets. Because, you know, land war against a landlocked OPM. And this OPM doesn't have a vassal swarm, so... we're getting kind of unlucky with the state statutory rights. It should have fired by now, I think. Let's keep this guy on the siege. Or 1k stack wipes of 4k, okay. Yeah, 21% at the start. Quantity for military hegemon in the future? I mean, we already took economic hegemon. We'd have to, like, awkwardly switch out of it if we wanted mill hegemon. I'm also not confident in our ability to get mill hegemon. That requires a lot of manpower that I don't think we'll ever have. I mean, Prenoias are nice, but they're not that good for manpower. It's more making a huge problem into a large problem. Wait. I broke the rules. I forgot I annexed Cephalonia. I forgot Cephalonia existed, to be honest. I've just been not an OPM for, like, the past year, because I've been owning this random province. Okay, well, we need to reload so that I'm not owning a random province. That's awkward. But we did make that save, just in case. I guess this is what can go wrong. I can forget to give a province away. Okay. This is certainly one way that would accidentally invalidate the run. Imagine I just owned that province while not noticing for like the entire run, and then the whole run was invalid at the end. Oh well, at least we can go through everything much quicker. We only did like 6 months, and like basically all of that was just decision making. Not really anything that would be time intensive to redo. Yeah, it's even worse than like owning a province in a war. Like that was a core province. It is, I suppose, a nice catch. That's one way to look at it, instead of a very bad oversight that was almost way worse than it was. In the future, guys, if any of you spot that kind of stuff, me accidentally breaking the rules, then you can also just yell at me about it. I don't think anyone in the stream chat spotted it either, though. That was just such a sneaky province. Here you go. Very hard OPM. This is like the 3rd of May, 1510. I think this is... Is that correct? I'm trying to think. Third of May is like when we integrated them, right? No, that's like 2 months after. That'd be an autosave. Did I like add in like the wrong save? Okay, let's check. 1509. No, I think it was in 1510, so I think... No, it definitely isn't a backup. Yeah, I think this is the correct save. Yeah, we made, like, 2 saves. And this should be the right one, because this is before we, annexed, Cephalonia. Yeah, and then there was one other save from ahead of time that was like the autosave backup or whatever. Okay. So this should be correct because this is right before we annex them. So what I have to do is just the exact same thing that I did, but give Cephalonia to Maria. That shouldn't be an issue. Okay. Okay, we did 2 different time travels in this stream so far, but hopefully we got this correct. Okay. But yeah, now we just do everything the exact same, but we give Cephalonia to Maria. We remember that Cephalonia's capital exists. Why can't I escape? My escape button no longer works. Okay, now it works. I need to Alt-Tab. Cool. I think we can go, like, speed up. Because, like, we already did everything here, we're just waiting. And we'll pause on February. Okay, let's get a diplomat available. And we'll remember to give away this province. That's all we need to do. Okay. And we just give away this immediately. And we give this to Maria. Okay. We should be obeying all of our rules now. Okay, Diplo Rep is gonna make our vassals, like, slightly annoyed. But whatever. We can actually, like, wait on this, maybe. Yeah, slightly... Nah, we should just deal with it. Okay, we only own one province. Nothing else is green. We should be legal. I mean, we have a core on this, but we don't actually own it, so it's fine. How can we increase our relative strengths? That's the question. Yeah, these guys have extra loyalty from Dip Tech. And they're gonna have even more, soon. Because of our crown land. So again, we may as well spend tax. And manpower here. And we can improve with Egyptus. And send gift on the 18th. Okay, the canal's being built. Okay, we have war ups coming in. Okay. Now we can sell titles, and I think we still want to maximize the crown land just so we, like, minimize the time until we get a state statutory rights. Not even worried about, like, the 3k ducats. We take this. And we take Hegemon. Yeah, perhaps the 81 dev in the Great Powers list should have been a clue that we had more than one province. Yeah, and we just want to use points for all of this. Oh, cloves. I guess we can use some production to dev cloves. We'll get a lot of profit out of these cloves anyway, once we, what is it? Control the trade. And why did I not want to have this? Because I didn't want to waste Diplo in general. Yeah. Okay, Circassian's still disloyal. And Wallachia is disloyal. Okay, that should solve everything for now. And we're just waiting on statutory rights. So maybe we don't declare a war for a bit. No, actually we still want to declare war. But we want to be able to finish the war in a few months so that we can seize land. Egyptus... Yeah, we need a free diplomat for the war, but not yet. Get some bonus points. Maria's disloyal again. Checks out. Again, we just want to move our troops over here. And promote an advisor. We have more money now. Oh, and we also want to build stuff in our vassals. Oh, so the 5% discount does apply to vassals. Okay. So we'll just start spamming manufactories. To start everywhere that's already Christian. And I guess we can do everywhere that's, like, pagan, too. Oh, and we should have, like, a fort here. Just in general, that would be a good idea. Yeah. And then once we conquer stuff over here, we can also build a fort there. And we can't build here because it's under siege. Our missionary is busy in Teke, but it'll be done soon. Okay, and hopefully all these estates will increase our income. It's kind of in the gutter right now because, you know, we aren't diverting trade, but hopefully we'll get that statutory rights event soon. I'm probably the only person who has ever said that sentence. Okay, let's declare war. Once our armies get here. Again, we have way too many guys here. Let's send out, enough cannons to siege the province, and, like, that's it. We just also have mercenaries. Palace Guard for the front line. And this is Sema Strikes. Morlocks will also be in for the siege. Siege pit. Okay. We are accruing favors here. We can trade favors here. And we want to trade favors here. All curry favors. And I think I want more, admin points. Yay, we got it! Now we just, I think we can still click this. Yeah, we can click this at peace, we just can't click it if there's currently an event going on. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to siege this fort, well, assault the fort, with all of the, infantry regiments, to finish this, war soon enough so that we can seize land. Because we can't seize land after we grant this privilege, so we want to do it before. We have like 17k incoming. Okay, this should be enough. Oh, now we get a stab cost modifier that's 50% cheaper to employ. Let's set Morlocks to 3, Hatch Trucks to 2, Levins to 1, Free Company to 4, these guys to 5. This is so excessive versus an OPM. Obviously, if I knew the event would fire, then I wouldn't have done this, but we can't know when it will fire and we want to take advantage of it. Surely they die soon. I'm just like consolidating regiments to give a better chance of success with this. Well, not a better chance of success, but minimizing casualties and winning quicker, which matters. Okay, we won. And we're giving this to Anatolikon. Now we seize land. We shouldn't get rebels. There we go. And now we can, give estate statutory rights. Okay, and now we have 35% crown land, and, hopefully no Liberty Desire issues. Okay, yeah, that completely fixed the Liberty Desire. And now we can start diverting trade again. Okay. Now, we can go after QQ, which is what I really wanted to do. But first, Anatolikon has, like, no liberty desire, so I want to get our mission done for, Asia Minor. So what we need to do is seize Sugla. Well, first we can pay off their debt. Now seize land. Then complete the mission. And now we can give this back to them. Do we need to pay debt of any other vassals? I don't believe so. Yeah, we should be good. So that gives us claims, where Anatolikon doesn't necessarily have claims yet. And that will also allow us to take this mission in a bit, after we take some provinces from QQ. That will allow us to hire a new mercenary company, the Turkish Janissaries. And now we can declare war on QQ. This should be a fairly easy war. They're allied with Mushasha, and they have 40,000 men. So that would be 50k total, but they're mostly Tech 7, we're Tech 9. We'll get all our troops in front, though, so we can maximize how much attrition we take. Then we have at least a bit after that to just chill. We can go, like, declare on Imereti, I suppose. Maybe not immediately, because Muscovy would defend them. And again, it might seem like we're kind of wasting money by not using it now, but I don't think we have that many good buildings we can do. What we could do is build, courthouses. Oh, also we need to build, stuff in Constantinople for the mission. We could, speed up construction of Hagia Sophia with some money. That's one use we could, spend it on. And let's get that stab cost guy at half cost. Actually, can we not promote him then? What are the requirements to promote an advisor? I forget if it's religion or culture. I think it's religion. Provided they are of a promoted culture. He is Greek. I think we can do this then. Let's test. We can. Okay, we now have 2 + 5 guys. So we're just lacking a bit in mill power. We're gonna take some extra attrition for a bit, but that'll be worth it to dissuade any battles. Battles are also costly in men. And let's say, Erzurum is the war goal. Actually, what's most expensive? Yeah, Erzurum's fine. Mushasha has no allies. We could make them a co-belligerent. It doesn't matter. And who is disloyal now? Why are you disloyal? I get why others, but Wallachia is just annoying. You're so needy. Let's just improve relations. And I guess we can dev manpower. We can also, like, always take the money option in these events, I suppose. Okay. So let's minimize the amount of unnecessary attrition we take. This can be our main stack. And we can attach our mercs to it. Maybe not those mercs. Yeah, thinking on it, most of our mercs are kind of not in the best shape right now. We do want our siege stack though, at least. Free Company can handle itself. Okay, we may need to send some manpower troops. There he goes. This should be enough to dissuade a battle. And... oh, the Morlock General died, the siege guy. Okay. That's annoying. I guess we can, like, try and get another siege guy. Okay, well this guy's amazing, even if he's only +1 siege. And we might want to focus mill power and or promote this guy. Probably not the morale guy because he's 46. Yeah, unfortunately these guys will be able to siege like most of the vassals' land because the fort in Kayseri isn't built yet. And our mercs are still recovering manpower. I think I'm just gonna go take the land attrition mill reform. I don't see a better one. I feel like there was some policy that you could combine with, one of these government reforms well, but I can't remember what it is, so I'm just going to take land attrition. Our vassal is getting wrecked. I guess prestige could be good. I just don't want them fully relaxing while they carpet siege. Okay, where is their cap? Cabriz? Okay. Let's siege Trebizond so that they'll be stuck in Anatolia. And then we can maybe stack wipe them. Probably not, I guess they have access through Mamluks, but after this fort, we can stack wipe them. Because they're not getting any forts here, they're just sieging some random provinces. And we are sieging forts. Even if we're not doing it super efficiently. There we go, finally some production efficiency. Okay, our vassals are going off to die for no good reason. Cool. I'm just gonna put all these guys on supportive. Okay, this will be our second main stack. And how many men do we even have here? I kind of lost track. So we have 8 cannons, we have 4 infantry, basically 8k. What's that? Maybe 11k infantry of our own. And then we have 9k infantry from Bulgaria, so 20. 30k, 33k, 40k infantry. And like a good back row of cannons. Yeah, we could definitely engage these guys. I don't see a reason not to, really. If we can get them separated even, particularly. Ooh, if we could trap them in Constantinople, that would be best of all. I want these guys to attach to my fleets. I'm putting them on supportive, they should attach. But these guys aren't attaching. Okay, let's go for the battle we'll have a defensive bonus on. Okay. Now we can go for the 15k. We do have a -2, so this might not be great. I was hoping us outnumbering them would be more important, but we're also low rolling. Yeah, that was kind of just even. We did at least get them out of Anatolia. And separate some infantry here to go siege back these provinces. And since we killed their army, we don't need these infantry to stand on the siege either. We can maybe send these guys to Yerevan. Okay, we got Trebizond. We should also be swapping out the occupation of these. Even if we end up paying our vassal back later, we want to get the opinion modifier for repaying their debt. And this can go siege the capital. should probably keep this on the same stack just in case. Yeah, they have some troops ready now. Again, we don't need to be, like, full invested into this war. We don't need 100% war score. I just want enough provinces to finish our Anatolian mission, most importantly, and then we can figure out what we want from there. I guess we probably want Diyarbakir as well. But then we would also like one province in the Georgia region to start either reconquesting or asking Emirati to start returning cores. What we'll probably do is we'll wait for Muscovy to be more in debt, which I'm sure will happen. Muscovy loves getting into absurd amounts of debt for no reason. Every game they're my ally, it happens. Why did you stop helping my armies? I set you guys on supportive, did I not? I did. I don't know what's going on. I also want to divert trade from more vassals at some point. Can do this. Need to improve with you more. Oh, and we can take Diptak. Okay. Bit late, but whatever. I'm not sure why these guys refuse to attach to anyone. I think it might be because, like, of the excessive attrition. It's probably that. Let's go save ourselves a bit of attrition. Oh, we can claim Defender of the Face, can't we? We could. I mean, there's barely any Orthodox countries. I think it would make sense to. Yeah, let's do that. We also get, like, some morale, prestige, missionary maintenance cost. This just seems like a really good idea, but I mainly want the extra missionary. It would be nice if we could get some more missionary strengths. And then, again, we're granting this land to Anatolikon and releasing Georgia. We might have to take this land ourselves, actually, to be able to release Georgia. Yeah, I think we do. But we definitely want Georgia here. They have a good amount of cores. Although, do we even want Georgia? It's one more vassal to manage the Liberty Desire of. How much dev is this? It's like, we'd take this, and then it would be what? 15, 24, 33, 40, 50, 60, 69, 74 dev. I guess that's about equivalent to Syria. We won't quite have the Diplo slot, actually. Because I'm going to release 2 vassals from Mamluks into the next war. And Liberty Desire could still be a problem. Like, Wallachia is almost disloyal if we hadn't developed provinces. I think we do want Georgia. Because I want to complete that Pronoia mission, and Georgia would be a good nation to do for the Pronoia. We could feed them all their cores, and they would be still a fair bit under the requirements. I guess Bulgaria would be the alternative. We could still technically make Bulgaria a Pronoia, but they are a march. So we'd lose a stab. But we could develop their land fairly well. I mean, they do have much more devable land than, say, Georgia. So in the long run, Bulgaria could be a better Pronoia. Wouldn't be that hard to dev Bulgaria's land. Yeah, we might make Bulgaria a Pronoia. In which case, do we even need Georgia? I mean, they have cores for less AE. But AE probably isn't our issue here. I guess I'll see how big of an issue monarch points are, because we will have excess monarch points. Oh, and we can upgrade Hagia Sophia. Let's do that. And we can use some money to skip here. That's actually a good economic investment. Now we can complete another mission, which will actually greatly help our economy. So this is like 22 ducats right now. Oh, we need one more building. Okay, let's build a courthouse. We'll delete it after. We just need a building. Maybe we could even release Fatal from QQ. No, we can't. Yeah. I guess a vassal that only serves the purpose of reducing AE and, like, quicker integration in Georgia might not be the smartest idea. But I really don't want to keep feeding Anatolikon. They're at Admin Tech 7. So yeah, at least if we release Georgia, they'd be on Admin Tech. Okay, we got one battle. Let's see if we can... All of these provinces are mountains. We'll probably just, not do much with these. But yeah, we won the cap. Let's see what we can get out of this war. I mean, we could keep on fighting for, like, 100% war score, I suppose. First off, we can do Anatolikon here. And we need this province ourselves to reach Ultu. And that's all we need. But I want Anatolikon to get more trade power. And may as well put these with Anatolikon. What do we want, really? We could start going into Persia. Would Armenia make sense to release? Does anyone know where, like, Armenia's capital is? Which province it is in by default? I'm gonna check. Because if Armenia is in the Crimea node, then this wouldn't work. If it's in the Persia node, it also wouldn't work. If it's in the Aleppo node, it would work for this strategy I have in mind. But I have a feeling that Armenia's capital would be somewhere around here. But what I want here, by the way, is I want an artificial PU. So what we're trying to do is we are going to get a subject out of this war. Say we take Van and we release Armenia. Then, first off, we can, like, feed them cores and stuff. But we can also enforce religion and enforce dynasty on throne, and then release them, and claim throne, and then declare to make them into a personal union. The problem is I don't think we can do it with how the provinces are arranged, because if we took Trebizond, Altu, Bayezid, and Van, then when we release Armenia, they would be in at least these three provinces. So even if they aren't one of the AI nations that have a default capital, then they still would have provinces in 3 different trade nodes when we release them, and I doubt their capital would be in Van. It would probably be in Bayezid. And we want their capital to be in a trade node like Aleppo, and then we want them to have no trade power in Aleppo. So they use their merchants, say, to transfer trade power from Persia to Aleppo. And if we have a subject nation in Aleppo, with their capital in Aleppo, and say no trade power there, and we feed that subject nation all of Persia, then we can use that personal union, say, after we convert our vassal into a personal union, to transfer trade power for us from Persia into Aleppo without us needing an extra merchant. Because our merchant slots are going to be limited for this entire run. Unfortunately, I don't think we can do this with Persia. So what I'm probably going to do is, I guess, Maria is at like 0 Liberty Desire. None of our other subject nations are that bad with Liberty Desire, even after the developed province modifier will go away. And we should get significantly more income soon, and relative strengths with our third idea. I think we can afford 3 more vassals. And then having Georgia as another vassal would mean they could core all of this. We would do reconquest, so there's less AE, and they would be, like, caught up on tech. I think we want to do that. Okay. I've decided. And we'll give Anatolikon, I guess, as much land as possible. I don't see a reason not to. because that would be more manufactories we can build. And we want to give them land in the Aleppo node. Yeah, so then we can build a fortress like here. Or just keep a fortress here, I suppose. I think I want to keep... I want to delete this fort. I don't think it's very useful. We can just have a fort in Trebizond and one here. This doesn't add anything. So we'll take this for ourselves and give it to Anatolikon. Yeah. And we could take money, but money doesn't really matter anymore, and I want a shorter truce in case we care about it. Okay, and we'll release Georgia. We need diplomats. Yeah, and we still have, like, fairly manageable Liberty Desire, so even if we add 3 subjects, it should still be somewhat manageable. Okay, and we'll delete this fort. And do we care about the church? Wait, can I not grant provinces because there's rebels? No, I can. They aren't in my territory. So first off, we'll release Georgia. Did that already make people disloyal? Huh. Yeah, this might be more of a problem to deal with than I expected. Well, we should be integrating Sarkisian somewhat soon. Georgia itself is disloyal. Lovely. Well, that should be fixed, at least. Why does Sarkisian not like us? I guess we can dip it low dev a bit. And we can also curry favors. Georgia's harder. I guess we have to just dev their one province. Actually, no, they have a truce with us. We can just improve relations. And that will hopefully fix it. And we need to give this to Anatolikon. Okay, we got the Constantinople monument done. So it's 21 income right now, and we'll... yeah, it's gonna take a few more months for this courthouse. Georgia should be loyal after we improve relations a bit, and do that mission that buffs Constantinople. The Megalopolis one. Yeah, this will be a huge boost. This seems as a really fun concept and quite unique for a challenge run. Most people would pick Riga for this challenge, but watching one as Byzantium is really interesting. Honestly, I just like Byzantium more than Riga for this, because the Megalopolis mission, which we'll get really shortly, is such a power spike. I don't think people appreciate how busted you can make the Constantinople province. Okay, we're gonna have rebel issues for a bit. I'm not gonna kill our subjects rebels because it hasn't worked out well in the past when I've done that. They just get disloyal because I use manpower killing their rebels, and well, I'll kill these rebels because they're separatists. And they don't actually like me for it at all. It just makes them more disloyal. Oh, we can renounce our claim on Kosai, we don't care. I think legitimacy gives Diplo rep. Which one gives Diplo rep? Yeah, so we want to lose prestige instead. We don't want to lose Diplo rep and make our vassals disloyal. Okay, this one is not quite as talented as our first, daughter we had in the run. A 3-3-1, no thanks. So I guess we won't get an heir for a year, but we'll live with our +3 unrest in our one province. Okay, stability increase. And we should complete this mission soon, once we get this courthouse. Let's just get these guys to Constantinople, where they'll be not taking attrition anymore. I think we probably just need to chill for the wars right now, because Muscovy doesn't seem to be taking any more debt. And I can't think of where else we would expand. The Balkans aren't really useful for us, expansion-wise, right now. Wow, instead of fighting Austria and England and Aragon and Florence and everyone, we can fight all of those except England. Because England's a bit busy with Henry VIII doing Henry VIII stuff. I guess at least Poland pieced out, so they're winning, technically. They just have all their continental stuff occupied. Oh my god, more separatists. Okay, we'll help with that. I don't want separatist rebels succeeding. Or even, like, getting close to succeeding, because they cause separatism, and then that's future revolts, and that's annoying, even if it doesn't really matter. Yeah, we don't need more than these troops. Yeah, we'll probably stop feeding Anatolikon, after this Mamluk war, because, they're just continuously running low on admin. So they'll probably just end up being, like, Anatolia. And then Georgia will be the new province nation we feed. Defensive and offensive ideas. Wow. Okay, and we can turn down army maintenance after these rebels are dealt with. Okay. I will probably be ending the stream soon, by the way. A bit of a shorter stream, but I have to go in fairly shortly. We did at least get the biggest problem of the run out of the way. That's the most important thing I wanted to get done. Okay, there we go. We completed the requirements for the Constantinople mission. And now, we can finally do Megalopolis. And we already have it as a max dev for that. So here you go, we have 22 income before that. And how much manpower are we getting? 15.6 thousand manpower. $24 income and 17,000. I expected that to be larger. So we do get a minus 10% advisor cost discount on all of our advisors, because all of our advisors are coming from Constantinople, which has our culture. And then we also get 100% local goods produced, 100% extra tax, and 100% manpower. Maybe this, like, takes a bit to update. I really expected the goods produced one to be a larger impact. Okay, yeah, okay, now it updated. 33 income. And 21,000 manpower. So now we're getting, like, 500 manpower months, which is significantly better. So, like, if you look at the total income, we're getting 33 income from Constantinople. And we can also, like, build more useful buildings now, because the dock and the courthouse were just placeholder buildings, so let's get rid of those. And we can't get a manufactory yet, but we can get, like, ground parts. This will also give us another manpower dev, in addition to obviously being a useful building in general. And then we'll build a normal manufactory as the last building slot. And we can build more manufactories? No. They are getting cord still. Okay. And let's get more favors with Circassian and start currying with our new subject. Oh, we can also influence nation, actually. I don't think that'll be necessary. We can also stop currying favors with Maria soon. We're about to reach the max. Oh, and we can reinforce... no, we can just build another regiment. For slightly more relative strengths. Oh, and we should also be building force limit buildings. That will help a lot. We're only doing this where there's multiple building slots remaining, so that we can get manufactories everywhere. But this will greatly increase our force limit, because we're getting relative force limit from vassals. And I don't think we want a golden era, I think we want to save this. We do have, like, fairly good management of our mana right now. We also have fairly cheap advisors, yeah. We have, like, 20% base discount plus the 50%. Would be nice if we could stack more, but we don't need to. We're also getting a ton more money from trade now that we have 100% extra goods produced in Constantinople. Like, I don't know exactly how much money this is adding to trade, but I think it's even more than its production income. I feel like there should be a way to check that, but I'm not sure how. Muscovy would still come to help. Maybe they wouldn't at some point in the near future. And Armenian separatists. Hopefully our vassal can handle that. Yeah, I think our vassal can handle it. Okay. I'm gonna end the stream here. I think this is a decent place to stop. Well, actually, maybe we can finish with Maria. Yeah, we can finish with Maria. I'm gonna let... Okay, our vassal doesn't seem to be... Yeah, I think our vassal is gonna handle its own rebels. We can let that happen. Yeah, I'm gonna keep on streaming until we can stop improving relations with Maria. Not improving relations, curry favor. That way we can max out... Oh, we won't be able to max out trust. Well, we'll at least be able to remove the diplomat. There we go. Because this... Maria has, like, 0 liberty desire. We want to be using it on a vassal that matters more. Well, not that matters more, but that is more disloyal. Yeah, so now this is at 90 trust. So... They'll be pretty happy for a long time. Yeah. We made a lot of progress. We finished conquering Anatolia. We finally got that canal started. It's going to take them a while to actually finish it, but I have faith. And we'll be able to declare on the Mamluks again in 6 years or so. I'm not sure what we want to do in the meantime. That's part of what I want to figure out before the next stream. We don't have anything really obvious to do, and I feel like we shouldn't just be chilling if we're aiming for world conquest. But again, no easy targets. Oh my god, we're still getting payoffs from this Mamluks war reps. It looks like we have 100 income right now, even though we clearly don't. Yeah, and then our economy should be booming soon, with all of these manufactories that will be coming online shortly. We have way more money for manufactories than we should, and that should help a lot with our trade income, which should also help with our relative power. That's also why I'm building these regiment camps for relative power, because we can keep on hiring quite a few more mercs to fill that relative power. Our vassals can't always do that. So that should help with managing the liberty desire that will come from our 2 extra vassals in the next war with the Mamluks. And also it will help with winning the Mamluk war, because we'll just have a higher force limit. 53 force limit is already decent, but I think we're building like, what, 20 of these regiment camps? Someone can count. I think it's like 20. So that won't give us quite the full force limit. I think we'll get, what, maybe 10 force limit from that, but it'll still help out relative power a lot. Okay, ending the stream now. Remember to, like, join the Discord if you're not in it already somehow. Like, subscribe, whatever. Probably another stream tomorrow. See ya!